Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, before we get into the show, first off, man, if you haven't done this already, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you're the first ones to know when my next video will come out because I'm here each and every single week. And one last thing, don't forget to be awesome. Yeah, man. Sit back, chillax, grab something to eat, grab something to drink because you're watching the Ryan Awesome Show. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, today on the Ryan Awesome Show, we'll be talking about Impact Wrestling Sacrifice 2022. So, yeah, man, so this is going to be two halves of the Ryan Awesome Show. So it's going to be, the first half is going to be Impact Wrestling Sacrifice 2022. And the second half of the Ryan Awesome Show will be AEW Revolution 2022. So yeah, man, so as I'm recording this right now, AEW Revolution hasn't happened yet. So, but when you guys see it, when you guys see the video, you know, AEW Revolution already happened. But as I'm recording this right now, AEW Revolution has not started yet. Yeah, I usually record after the pay-per-view. Last night, I didn't get a chance to do that because I was really tired to do it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just merge both of these shows together, just like how I did the last time with the Elimination Chamber and No Surrender. So I'm going to do the same thing this time. But yeah, man, so the first half of the Ryan Awesome Show will be Impact Wrestling Sacrifice 2022. And yeah, man, overall, man, it was a really good show, man. It really was, man. Enjoyed that X Division title match with Trey Miguel and Jake something. I thought that was a really great match, dude. And the crowd was into that match too. And you know, also I enjoyed that Jay White and Alex Shelley match. I thought it was a really great match. Great back and forth, teacher versus student. But the match I enjoyed the most was PCO and Jonah. That was probably one of my favorite matches on the show last night. Was that match. Because man, like both of these guys, they are big guys, man. They are big guys, and they beat the hell out of each other, bro. They really did. And the spots in this match too was really crazy, man. That power driver, that tombstone power driver that Jonah gave PCO on the steel steps, bro. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. And PCO jumping off of the top rope, hitting moonsaults and senton bombs for his age, a guy his age, bro. Really impressive, man. Really impressive. They beat the hell out of each other, man. And this match right here is probably one of my favorite matches on the show. Probably one of my favorite matches of the show, PCO and Jonah. Man, they freaking killed each other, bro. They killed each other out there. Also had new champions crowned too. New Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions and new Impact Knockouts Champion. And also Impact World Tag Team Champions. So we crowned new champions last night on Impact Wrestling Sacrifice. And also, man, the main event, we had Moose versus Heath for the World Championship. I wasn't feeling that match, man. I really wasn't. I don't know what it was, but I wasn't feeling it. But yeah, maybe it was just Heath being into the main event. You know, him getting his championship match, just asking for a title match and him just getting it. Maybe it was that. You know, because who did he ever beat? Like, who did he ever beat to get a championship match or the world championship at that? You know, let alone a championship match. You know, who exactly did he beat? And so that's why I wasn't feeling it, man. Like everybody that fought for the world championship, they earned a title match. You don't just ask for a title match and get handed a match. And so yeah, that's why I wasn't feeling it, man. You know, not saying that he doesn't deserve a shot, but you gotta earn your shot. Like go and earn your shot first, and then you get a championship match. But he asked for it. He asked for his title match, and Scott D'Amore just gave him a title match. So yeah, so that's one of the main reasons why I wasn't feeling the main event. But yeah, but everything else, man, I enjoyed those matches, man. But yeah, man. So this is the first half of the Ryan Awesome Show, Impact Wrestling Sacrifice 2022. And yeah, man. So I say this all the time in the intro: like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, because I'm here each and every single week, man. And so yeah, so for Impact Wrestling Sacrifice, they were live in Louisville, Kentucky. So yeah, man. So our first match of the night was for the X Division Championship match. So they always open up the pay-per-view with the X Division title match. So they open up the match, or the show rather, with the X Division title match. Oh yeah, and of course I didn't watch the pre-show, so I didn't know what happened on the pre-show. But yeah, man. So X Division Championship match: Jake something versus Trey Miguel, who is the X Division champion. So yeah, man. So Jake, he had used his power against Trey, and he had a short arm clothesline to Trey, and he kicked out. And so Trey, at one point, he went right after Jake's arm. And so yeah, man. So Jake, he had a power bomb to Trey, a wicked one at that too, man. And Trey, he barely kicked out, man. And so yeah, so Trey, he tried fighting back, but Jake was too strong. And so Jake, he had to control the match, and he had a series of clotheslines to Trey. And then Trey, he started to fight back for a bit. And so he had a modified Russian leg sweep to Jake to create some space. And then finally, Trey took control of the match. He had a spinning kick to Jake, and he started hitting chops to Jake. And so Jake, he had a torture rack backbreaker to Trey, and he kicked out. And so at that point, both of these guys, they were going back and forth, and the crowd was going crazy, bro. At that point, they were split. And so yeah, man. So yeah, we had Trey. He had a cold red. It looked like he had a cold red outside the ring through the ropes. So he ran through the ropes, hit like a tope, and he had like a cold red on Jake. And so yeah, so Trey, they were getting, the referee was counting to 10, and so they both were outside the ring. And so the referee was counting to 10. Trey, he picked up Jake in a fireman's carry position and brought him back into the ring. And dude, Jake is not a small dude. Jake is a big freaking dude. He is a big freaking dude. And Trey is the smaller guy, and he picked up Jake like he was nothing, bro, and brought him back into the ring. But yeah, man. So yeah, so Jake, he had hit a power buckle bomb to Trey, followed up by a power bomb, and Trey still kicked out. Jake tried to go for the power bomb again on Trey, but Trey, he had turned it into a meteora, and so Jake, he had kicked out. Jake went to the top rope, and Trey had tripped him up on the top rope. And so yeah, so Jake, I said Drake, Jake, he was hanging on the rope. Trey, to end the match, he had a diving meteora to Jake to win the match. So therefore, Trey Miguel wins the match and is still the X Division champion. And so that was pretty much it with that, man. Great match, dude. Love the back and forth too, man. And yeah, I said this earlier, bro. The crowd, they were into this match. They were into this match, dude. And yeah, this was a huge win. This was a huge win for Trey. Probably one of his toughest challenges too, man, was Jake. But yeah, man, that a huge win over Jake, bro. Huge win. My question is, who's next? And I think I know who's next, and his name is Jonah. So right after that, we had a backstage interview. So Gia Miller, she interviews Tasha Steelz, who is the #1 contender for the Impact Knockouts Championship, with Savannah Evans in her corner. And so yeah, man. So yeah, I'm reading this off of Wrestling Inc. So shout out to Wrestling Inc. So they were talking about the championship match against Mickie James. And so Tasha, she had said that they're gonna sing the same song and vows to sing the song of her becoming the new champion. And so that was pretty much it. So right after that, we had a match, and it was Eddie Edwards with Honor No More. So Eddie Edwards, who is the leader of Honor No More. So yeah, so Honor No More, that's Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, Maria Kanellis, Vincent, and Kenny King. And of course, no PCO, because, he has a match with Jonah later that night. So yeah, so versus Rhino with Rich Swann, Willie Mack, and Chris Sabin in this corner. And so yeah, so another thing, man, Eddie Edwards, he didn't come out to his original theme music. He came out to Honor No More's theme music, because he's the leader of Honor No More. Yeah, both of these guys, they went right after each other. And so Maria, at one point, she had handed Eddie Edwards the kendo stick. And so the referee saw it. And so the referee had ejected Maria Kanellis from ringside. And then Honor No More, they got involved in the match. They tripped up Rhino outside the ring, but the referee didn't see it. And so, yeah, so Rhino, he started to fight back. So Rhino, he tried to go for the gore on Eddie Edwards, but Kenny King, he got on the ring apron. And, a fight had broke out between Team Impact and Honor No More. And so Vincent, he had dove onto everybody while they were outside the ring. And then Rich Swann, he had got on the top rope and he dove onto everybody. And then Willie Mack, he got on the top rope and dove onto everybody outside the ring. And so, yeah, so everybody there are knocked out. So we had Steve Macklin, he came out. He ran out to the ring and he took out Eddie Edwards with a DDT. and he motioned Rhino to give Eddie Edwards the gore, but Macklin, he had hit Rhino with the kendo stick the same way Eddie Edwards did when Eddie Edwards just turned heel. And so yeah, so the crowd, they started chanting "F you Macklin, F you Macklin." And so yeah, and so to end the match, we had Eddie Edwards hit his finishing move, the Boston Knee Party, to Rhino to win the match. So therefore, Eddie Edwards wins the match. And that was it, man. That was it with that. I am enjoying Honor No More, bro. They are a huge threat in Impact Wrestling. We have a lot of threats in Impact. We have the Bullet Club. We got Violent by Design. We got Honor No More, bro. Oh my God, bro. Yes. And yeah, Eddie Edwards. I want to see more of this heel Eddie Edwards, bro. Cannot wait. Can't wait to see what's next with these guys, man. Honor No More. Oh yeah, another thing, bro. Another thing on Impact Wrestling, Alicia Edwards. She got in the ring and she wanted to know why Eddie Edwards did what he did. And you know, well, Alicia Edwards, I would say join. I would say join Honor No More. And I think that's what they're trying to get her to do. They're trying to get her to join Honor No More. And she should. She should join because she is not doing anything. She is not doing anything on her own. So she may as well just join Honor No More, bro. But yeah, that's what I think is gonna happen next. They're gonna try to get her to join Honor No More, and yeah, and they're gonna be even more unstoppable. But yeah, man. So that was pretty much it with that. And so yeah, so right after that, we had a backstage segment with Tenille, Dashwood, and Madison, Rayne, the #1 contenders for the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. And so yeah, so they told Caleb to stay in the back because he's too much of a liability. So they told him to just stay in the back, you know, because he have his thing with the inspiration and all that stuff. And so yeah, man, you know, treating him like a dog, telling him to stay in the back and all that stuff, and telling him to stay in this corner and all that stuff. But yeah, that was pretty much it with that. And so right after that, we had the Knockouts Tag Team Championship match, and it was the Influence. So that's Tenille, Dashwood, and Madison, Rayne versus the Inspiration, who are the Knockouts Tag Team Champions. That's Cassie Lee and Jessie, McKay. So yeah, man, I really didn't care too much about this match because I'm not a huge fan of the feud. So yeah, so they were fighting outside of the ring, and both of these teams had took each other out. And so the Influence, they had to control the match. And then we had a hot tag to Cassie, and she took out the Influence. And we had a fisherman suplex to Dashwood from Cassie, and she kicked out. And so Tenille, Dashwood hit the spotlight to Cassie, and Cassie had kicked out. And so Caleb had came out, you know, and the Influence, they weren't happy that he came out to the ring. We had a spinning kick to Dashwood from Cassie. And so Caleb, he had one of the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championships, and he threw it in the ring. And Dashwood had grabbed the championship, and she bashed Cassie over the head with the championship to win the match. So therefore, the Influence wins the match and are the new Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions. And so yeah, man. So when you saw Caleb's face, you know, right after that happened, it looked like he didn't expect that to happen. It looked like he tried to help the Inspiration. But yeah, that was pretty much it with that. Just like what I said before, I don't care too much about the feud. I really don't, man. It's nothing but cringe, bro. It is nothing but cringe. And so yeah, so right after that we had Heath and Rhino, so they were backstage and they spoke. And so yeah, so once again I'm reading this off of Wrestling Inc. So shout out to Wrestling Inc. Rhino, he was angry. He was angry about what happened earlier that night with him and Steve Macklin. You know, Steve Macklin hitting him over the head with the kendo stick. And so yeah, so Heath, he had said that he was concerned about everything that happened. Heath, he had said that he doesn't feel like he's ready for the championship match against Moose. And so yeah, so Anthony Corelli, the former Santino Marella, he came in, and so Santino Marella was in the Impact Zone, and he gave Heath Miller or Heath Slater, whatever you want to call him, a pep talk. You know, try to talk him up, try to cheer him up, and he told him that he was born ready for his opportunity tonight. And so Heath, he had a message for Moose, and he said, "Be ready for a wake up call." And so that was pretty much it with that. And so of course that was the main event. And so yeah, so right after that we had. So Brian Myers, he was out there. He was ringside, and he was on his commentary table, a commentator pro. I think that's what he called it. And so yeah, so W. Morrissey, his music had played, and so he came out and he tried to attack Brian Myers, but we had the security team. They came out and they broke W. Morrissey away from Brian Myers, and so they broke up the fight between W. Morrissey and Brian Myers, and so Brian Myers he got out of there. And so Morrissey, he had powerbombed one of the security team members through Brian Myers commentator table. And so that was pretty much it with that. And so yeah, man, so right after that we had one of my favorite matches of the night, bro. Jonah versus PCO, representing Honor No More PCO. So yeah, so both of these guys, they were trading strikes. We had a swinging neck breaker to Jonah, and we had a Russian leg sweep to PCO on a stage ramp. And so Jonah, he started chopping PCO, and PCO no sold it, bro. How you no sell a chop from Jonah, bro? I don't know. But yeah, so PCO, he chopped Jonah. He got him with the machine gun chops. And so yeah, so PCO, he had a Tope con hero, man. He had a Tope con hero to Jonah. And I was like, wow, man, wow. And so yeah, and then he had a top rope senton bomb. He had a top rope senton to Jonah on a ring apron, his signature spot. And I was like, oh my god, man, this guy is freaking crazy, man. Man. And so yeah, we had a superplex to PCO off of the tippy top of the top rope. And so yeah, and the ring, bro, if you heard it, man, or if you look at it again, man, the ring looked like it was about to break, man. It looked like it almost broke. But yeah, man, so yeah, both of these guys at that point they were going back and forth for strikes. And so both of these guys they were trading German suplexes too. And they each like no sold it, man. And so yeah, we had a DDT to PCO. And of course PCO, he's not human, he no sold it. And so yeah, man, we had a suplex to PCO. And PCO he was trying to get his trying to get himself back up by twitching. And so yeah, man, the same way Finn Balor did when he had his match against Roman Reigns at Extreme Rules, man. And so yeah, so we had a super kick to PCO. He had a top rope hurricane rana to Jonah. And yeah, PCO off of that landing, bro. It looked like he landed on the top of his head. PCO hit a moonsault to Jonah and he kicked out. And at that point I thought that was it. I thought that was it, man. And so yeah, man, so we had a "This is awesome" chant. Indeed it was, bro. Indeed it freaking was. And so Jonah, he had sent PCO into the steel steps. And then Jonah, he had a tombstone power driver to PCO on the steel steps. And I was like, oh my god, man. And so the crowd, they started chanting, check his pulse, check his pulse. And so yeah, so Jonah, he powerbombed PCO off of the steel steps onto the floor. So that had to hurt, man. That had to hurt. And so to end the match, man, you thought that hurt. You thought that hurt it, man. Jonah, he had a tsunami. He had a tsunami to PCO's head, man. Landed right on PCO's head with that tsunami to win the match, bro. That was probably one of the painful spots in this match. Because Jonah, he is a big freaking dude. And he jumping off of the top rope and he land on your head, bro. Man. So yeah, so Jonah wins the match. This was crazy, man. This is a great match, bro. But yeah, man, as I said before, man, they beat the hell out of each other, man. And so yeah, man, so right after the match we had the doctor came out and referee came out to go check on PCO, but PCO he refused help. He refused help and all that stuff. My thing is, I don't know how you get up after that, bro. How you get up after that? A tsunami to the head, bro. Oh. But yeah, man, that was pretty much it with that, man. Jonah, as for Jonah goes, yeah, this is basically a heel versus heel match. And this is probably one of the best heel versus heel matches I saw, man. But yeah, man. Yeah, Jonah, I would send Jonah at the X Division Championship. I think he should be the one to take that title from Trey Miguel because I don't see anybody taking that championship from Moose yet. But Josh Alexander might be the only one or the only person that's gonna take that title from Moose. But yeah, I'll send Jonah after the X Division title. But yeah, man. So that was pretty much it with that. And so right after that, we had Gia Miller. She interviews Jay White. And so yeah, man. So Jay White, he was talking about his match with Alex Shelley. And so White, he had said that he knew this day would eventually come where he and Shelley would cross paths. And he said that it's fitting that it will take place where Shelley made a name for himself. And so Jay White, he had said that Shelley doesn't know the man that he has become, but soon he will show him in the ring. And so that was pretty much it with that. And so yeah, so right after that, we had our match with Jay White versus Alex Shelley. So welcome back to the Impact Zone, Alex Shelley. And at first, man, I was wondering where was Alex Shelley. Because he was out for a very long time. He was in other places, but he had he was supposed to tag team with Chris Sabin, and who else was it? I think it was Chris Sabin and Moose versus Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers or something like that. No, it was Chris Sabin. Yeah, it was supposed to be Rich Swann, right? I forgot. It was a 6-person tag team match, but Alex Shelley ended up getting replaced by Moose, and they fought off against the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega when AEW invaded Impact. So yeah, man, this is a really great match, man. So yeah, so of course they were going back and forth, and they know each other really well. And so Shelley, he had to control the match, And then we had a springboard crossbody attempt to White, but White he had got his knees up, and so White he had to control the match, and we had a TKO to Shelley on a ring rope, and so yeah we had chops to Shelley, and then Shelley he started fighting back with kicks. We had a DDT to Shelley, and then we had a spinning suplex to Shelley, and he kicked out, and we had a flatliner to White in the corner, and we had chops to Shelley, and then we had chops to White, so they were both going back and forth with chops. And so yeah, we had a Uranagi to Shelley, but Shelley had put his foot on the rope. And so we had a sliced bread to White, and White had kicked out. And so both of these guys, again, going back and forth. And so Shelley, he tried to go for Jay White's finishing move, the Blade Runner, but White, he had reversed it. And so, yeah, and so Shelley, he had locked in his submission move. I think he called it the Motor City Stretch or something like that. But White had put his foot on the rope. And so, yeah, man, so Shelley, he went right after White's arm. And so, yeah, man, so White, he had the Blade Runner to Shelley on the tip of the ring apron outside the ring. Alex Shelley, he ended up hitting the Blade Runner to White, but White had kicked out. So, yeah, so Alex Shelley, he locked in the Motor City Stretch again to White, but White, he had got out of it. And so to end the match, man, Jay White hit his finishing move, the Blade Runner, to Shelley to win the match. So, therefore, Jay White wins the match. Every single move, these guys had an answer for, man. They had an answer for it, man. And this match actually got a standing ovation from everybody, man. From the commentary team to the fans. They had a standing ovation. This match had a standing ovation, and rightfully so, man. Rightfully so. And so, yeah, so right after the match, we had Alex Shelley. He had put his hand out to shake Jay White's hand. And so Jay White, he refused. He refused to shake his hand, and he got out of the ring. And so, yeah, that was pretty much it with that. And so, yeah, so right after that, we had Violent by Design. That's Eric Young, Diener, and Joe Doring. So they were backstage, and they spoke about their match against the Good Brothers. And they said they were going to become the Impact World Tag Team Champions. And so, yeah, man, so that was it with that. And so, yeah, so right after that, we had the Champ Challenge. The Champ Challenge. So that's Deonna Purrazzo, who is the AAA Reina de Reinas champion and the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, versus Chelsea Green, somebody that she knows really well. You know, they're best friends in real life. Yeah, so Deonna Purrazzo, she holds up both of the championships, so her opponent gets to choose which championship they want to fight for. And so Chelsea, she had pointed at the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. So this match will now be for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. Chelsea, she had a tope suicida to Purrazzo, which could have ended badly too, man. You know, because she almost landed on her face, man, on that floor. And so, yeah, we had a short arm clothesline to Green, and then a Fujiwara armbar to Green, and then Green, she had fought out of it. So, yeah, so they both gave each other the pump kick, and they knocked each other down. And so, yeah, we had a curb stomp to Purrazzo on a turnbuckle, but Purrazzo, she had put her foot on the rope. And so, yeah, so Deonna Purrazzo once again went for the Fujiwara armbar, but Green had reversed it, and Green had locked in the Fujiwara armbar herself on Purrazzo. And so Purrazzo, she had kicked at Green's arm. So, yeah, she kicked it, and you heard like a little snap. Green, she was screaming in pain, and so the referee had to back Deonna Purrazzo away from Chelsea Green. And so Purrazzo, she went to go check on her friend. But Green, she had pushed Deonna Purrazzo away from her and all that stuff. And so that angered Purrazzo. And so Purrazzo, she went for the Fujiwara armbar, locked it in, started, pulling at her arm. And so Green, she started tapping out, but the match was already called off. And so, yeah, man, so Deonna Purrazzo wins the match by referee stoppage. And so, yeah, so right after the match, Mickie James, she had came into the ring. She chased off Deonna Purrazzo. And so, yeah, so the doctor and the referee went to go check on Green. And so we had Tasha Steelz, her theme music had played because the next match is for the Impact Knockouts Championship. Plus, Mickie James was already out there anyways. Impact Knockouts World Championship match. Tasha Steelz, who is the #1 contender for the Impact Knockouts Championship, with Savannah Evans in her corner versus Mickie James, who is the Knockouts champion. And so, yeah, so Steelz, she went right after James, and the match didn't even start yet. And so James, she started to fight back, and the match finally began. So Savannah Evans tried to attack Chelsea Green, and James, she had protected Chelsea Green. And so, yeah, so James, she tried to attack Evans, but Evans kept no-selling Mickie James' attacks. And so, yeah, man, so James, she had kicked Evans below the belt, so she gave Evans a low blow. No comment on that one. No comment. So, yeah, so James had told the doctor and the referee to get Chelsea Green out of here, like get her out of here before she gets hurt. And so, yeah, so we had a tope suicida to James, and we had a PK kick to James, and James had kicked out. And so both of these ladies, they were fighting at the top rope, and they both fell off the top rope onto the floor. And so yeah, so Mickie James, she had the Mick DT to Steelz, and then Savannah Evans, she had got in the ring and tried to take out Mickie James, but James had took out Evans. And so yeah, Tasha Steelz, she had a finishing move, the blackout to James, and James had kicked out. And so both of these ladies, they were trading jabs. And so James had hit a flapjack to Steelz. James, she had went to the top rope to try to hit like a hot flying move, but Evans tried to knock down James. And then James had took out Evans. So that was our second time getting involved in that match. And so to end the match, man, we had a cutter. We had a cutter to James in midair to win the match. So therefore, Tasha Steelz wins the match and is the new Impact Knockouts champion. And that was it. Kind of knew it was gonna happen because she got a rematch. There was no way she was gonna lose. Because if she would have lost to James twice, then there is no reason why she should be going after the title twice right after she lost. James will get a championship rematch because she feels she was robbed. But yeah, man, right after that, we had the Impact World Tag Team Championship match, and it was Violent by Design. So that's Eric Young and Joe Doring with Diener in their corner versus the Good Brothers, who are the Impact World Tag Team Champions. That's Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson with Chris Bay in their corner. So Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, new members of the Bullet Club. And so yeah, so Anderson and Young, they're going back and forth. Gallows and Anderson, or Gallows and Doring rather, they were going at it. And we had a hot tag to Anderson, he took out Young, and then Doring, he had took out the Good Brothers. We had a power slam, diving elbow combo to Anderson from Young and Doring. And so we had a hot tag to Gallows, he took out Violent by Design. And so Good Brothers tried to go for the Magic Killer to Young, but Young, he had fought out of it. And so we had a Death Valley driver to Anderson, which was beautiful, man, to Carl Anderson from Eric Young. And so Anderson had kicked out. And so we had a powerbomb superplex combo from Joe Doring onto the Good Brothers and Eric Young. So Doring actually took out his own partner. But yeah, man. So we had a double A spine buster to Doring from Anderson. And so Doring, he had got back up. And so we had a lariat to Anderson from Doring, a low blow to Gallows from Young on the stage, so they're fighting outside the ring. And then Eric Young had a power driver to Gallows on the stage ramp. And so to end the match, man, we had a powerbomb neckbreaker combo to Anderson from Violent by Design to win the match. So therefore, Violent by Design wins the match and are the new Impact World Tag Team Champions. And so that was it, man. This was actually shocking too, man. This was actually shocking. Did not expect Violent by Design to win this match. Did not, because the Good Brothers, they just joined the Bullet Club. So I was expecting them to retain their championships, which means they should be winning. But yeah, this actually shocked me, dude. This actually shocked me. It really did. But congratulations to Violent by Design. Always been a fan of Violent by Design. But yeah, man, what's next? Who's next? Because we starting to get more tag teams in Impact, but we still don't have enough tag teams. We have a little bit more than what they used to be. Because back then they had no tag teams, but now we starting to get more and more tag teams. Right after the Good Brothers get their rematch, I wonder who's next for the Violent by Design. Rebellion was announced for, I believe it's April the 29th or April the 23rd. And so yeah, so that's Rebellion, so that's the next pay-per-view. Anthony Corelli, the former Santino Marella, he was on commentary for the main event. And so the main event was for the Impact World Championship. And so it was Heath, the number one contender, versus Moose, who is the Impact World Champion. Crowd started chanting, "He's got kids" to Heath. And so yeah, Heath, he actually gotten some offense in the match, some early offense in the match. And so Moose, he started throwing Heath across the ring. And so Moose, he had to control the match at that point. And so Heath, he started to fire back up, and he took out Moose. We had a pump kick to Heath outside of the ring. And so Moose, he had sent Heath into the steel steps. And so Moose, he went right after Heath's hand. And so Heath, he started biting at Moose's hand to get out of the submission move from Moose. And so yeah, so Moose, he had hit a Uranagi slam to Heath on the ring apron twice. And so yeah, so Moose, he started talking trash to Heath. And so Heath, he started to fight back. And he had a top rope crossbody to Moose. And so yeah, so Heath, he tried to go for his finishing move, the wake up call to Moose, but Moose, he had reversed it. And so yeah, so both of these guys, they were reversing each other's signature moves and all that stuff. Heath, he actually hit his finishing move, the wake up call to Moose, but Moose, he barely kicked out. Moose had hit a Uranagi to Heath. And so to end the match, man, we had Moose, he had speared Heath to win the match. So therefore, Moose wins the match and is still the Impact World Champion. And so yeah, so right after the match, man, we had Josh Alexander. He showed up from behind and gave Moose a C4 spike. And yeah, man, he spoke, man. Josh Alexander spoke.
Josh Alexander just planted the Impact World Champion.
Sort it out, Moose. See, I got another contract right here. This is a contract for the main event of Rebellion.
Rebellion.
Moose against Josh Alexander, one-on-one. And you are looking at the next Impact World Champion.
And that was it, man. So Josh Alexander is back. So yeah, so that was one of the big things that came out of Sacrifice 2. Josh Alexander came back. And yeah, man. And re-signed with Impact Wrestling. So yeah, he re-signed with Impact Wrestling. And yeah, man. I thought he was gonna go somewhere else, man. Most specifically AEW or New Japan Pro Wrestling. I thought he was gonna go somewhere else. But he decided to stay in Impact Wrestling and once again go after the Impact World Championship because he was robbed for the championship and just had Rebellion. So I'm guessing, yeah, since he re-signed with Impact Wrestling, Josh Alexander, he's gonna win his championship back. He's gonna win his World Championship back, and he's gonna actually have a reign with the championship. Because when he won the title, he didn't have a reign with the title. Right after he beat Christian Cage for the title, he did not have a reign with that championship. He won the championship, but he didn't have a championship reign. So yeah, this will be the time that he will get his reign. And so, but the question is, what does Moose does next when he loses the championship? I don't know, but yeah, that was it with that, man. That was it with the main event. Yeah, I wasn't feeling the main event with Heath and Moose. Really wasn't, because the fact that Heath Miller got a Heath Slater, I'm gonna call him Heath Slater. He needs a last name, bro. He needs a last name. But yeah, man, the fact that he just asked for a title match, and Scott D'Amore just gave him a championship match was not right. It wasn't right. It wasn't. Like you don't ask for a championship match and then get a title match. That's not how it works. You gotta build up wins. You gotta build up momentum. You gotta beat people in order to get a title match. And Heath, who did he ever beat? I asked the question earlier. Who did he ever beat? He didn't beat anybody. He didn't collect any wins to warrant himself a title match. But yeah, man. But yeah, I'm gonna say this again. Not saying that he doesn't deserve a shot at a world championship. But if you want a shot at a world championship, you gotta beat people. You gotta beat multiple people. You gotta continue to win. You gotta build up momentum. And he didn't do any of that. He didn't beat anybody. But yeah, man. But that was it, man. That was it with Impact Wrestling Sacrifice. It was a good show. It was a really good show. The X Division title match was really good. The Jay White and Alex Shelley match was really good. PCO and Jonah, I thought that was probably one of the best matches on the show. But yeah, man. But yep, that was it, man. That was it with that, man. That was it with Impact Wrestling Sacrifice. And yeah, man. Thank you guys for joining me for the first half of the Ryan Awesome Show for Impact Wrestling Sacrifice. And as I said before, man, as I'm recording this right now, AEW Revolution hasn't started yet. I'm actually recording this before or an hour before Revolution even starts. But when you guys see this video, AEW Revolution already happened. But as I'm recording this right now, AEW Revolution hasn't happened yet. So yeah, man. But thank you guys for joining me for Impact Wrestling Sacrifice 2022. And yeah, man. And I'll see you guys right now for AEW Revolution 2022. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get to AEW Revolution 2022 right now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ryan Awesome Show, the second half of the Ryan Awesome Show. So the second half of the Ryan Awesome Show, we'll be talking about AEW Revolution 2022. So yeah, man, overall, man, what a show, man. What a great freaking show, man. Better than great. Awesome show. Pun intended, my name, awesome. But yeah, man, awesome show, bro. Awesome show. Dude, I enjoyed everything on this show, man. Everything. Now, honestly, I couldn't tell you, man, like which match was the match of the night. I really couldn't, man. Everything was great, man. Everything was great on this show, man. Like when I was watching these matches, dude, most of the matches I could not take notes on. I could not take notes during most of these matches, like the ladder match, for example, the trios tornado tag team match, and all that stuff. The triple threat tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Like, man, it's like most of these matches I could not take notes in. I couldn't. But yeah, man. But yeah, everything on this show was great, man. Everything. And yeah, man, we have some new signings too. We have some new signings to AEW. Isaiah Swerve Scott, or Swerve Strickland, the former Isaiah Swerve Scott. So yeah, he goes by Swerve Strickland now, or Shane Swerve Strickland, whatever you want to call him. And also we have William Regal. William Regal, or Mr. Regal. He's AEW. He's All Elite Wrestling, so he came in too. So yeah, man. So it was really great, man. William Regal came in to try to break up Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson, and he got them on the same page. So we might have a group with these three. So yeah, man. Yeah, it was great, man. This is how you do a pay-per-view, man. This is exactly how you do a pay-per-view. Exactly how you do it, man. And I said this, bro. I said this weeks leading into Revolution. This could be one of the best pay-per-views of this year, of 2022. When 2022 is over, this this show right here, this pay-per-view could be one of the best pay-per-views of this year. And yeah, man, and they did a great job tonight, man. They did a great job tonight, bro. Everybody that competed tonight, they did a great job tonight, man. They really did. So yeah, man, that's how you do it, man. That's how you do a freaking pay-per-view, man. That's how you do it. But yeah, man. So yeah, so this is the second half of the Ryan Awesome Show, featuring AEW Revolution. In the first half, we talked about Sacrifice, Impact Wrestling Sacrifice 2022. So this time we're talking about AEW Revolution 2022. And yeah, man, as always, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. And so yeah, man, so we were live in Orlando, Florida tonight. And so I did watch the buy-in. So the buy-in, we had legit Layla Hirsch versus Chris Statlander. Hirsch, she went right after Statlander's arm. Statlander had hit a power slam to Hirsch, and then Statlander hit a blue thunder bomb to Hirsch, and she kicked out. And so we had a running knee to Hirsch, and we had a hurricanrana to Statlander off the ring apron, and they both landed nasty, bro, on the floor. And so we had a cross arm breaker to Statlander, but Statlander had put a foot on the rope. And then we had an avalanche electric chair to Hirsch. And then we had a Mikinochu driver to Hirsch, and she kicked out. So yeah, so Hirsch, she had grabbed one of the hooks that that put the turnbuckles together and all that stuff. And so yeah, man, so she grabbed it down in the ring, and she blasted Chris Statlander over the head with it behind the referee's back. And so to end the match, we had legit Layla Hirsch. She had her finishing move, the moonsault. It was like a springboard moonsault to Statlander to win the match. So therefore, legit Layla Hirsch wins the match, and that was pretty much it. And so right after the match, Red Velvet, she went to go check on Chris Statlander. So that was pretty much it with that, man. Good match, man. Good match. So right after that, we had Tony Schiavone. He interviews who we thought it was Kenny Omega. So we thought it was Kenny Omega because his theme song played, but Don Callis came out. So Don Callis came out. The crowd booed, bro. They booed. They absolutely booed, man. They got me on that one too, man. They got me on that one when they played Kenny Omega's theme song. But yeah, man. And then again, I did think, like, why would Kenny Omega be on a pre-show or the buy-in instead of the main show? But yeah, Don Callis, he talked about, yeah, I don't have the video pulled up. I don't have anything else pulled up. But Don Callis, he was talking about, what exactly is gonna happen tonight. So yeah, so he talked about the Bucks. The Bucks, they're gonna win the tag team championships, and he talked about Adam Cole as well. Because he's in the main event and all that stuff with Hangman Adam Page in the AEW World Championship. So yeah, so he said that he expect Adam Cole to win the championship, the World Championship, only to drop it to Kenny Omega when Omega comes back. So he basically called him a transitional champion. And yeah, man, and that was it, man. So that was pretty much it. And yeah, and Don Callis, he left after that, so we didn't see him for the rest of the night. And so yeah, so that was pretty much it with that. And so right after that, we had another match, and it was QT Marshall versus Hook. So Hook, this is Hook's first pay-per-view match, but it's on a buy-in, but it's still a pay-per-view match. So yeah, man. So yeah, Hook, he had a T-bone suplex to QT, and then QT, he was fighting dirty. He hit Hook in the throat, And so we had a shoulder capture suplex to QT on the floor. And so QT, he took control of the match. You know, he somehow took control of the match. And so the crowd started chanting, QT sucks. And so, yeah, so we had a Northern Light suplex to QT. And so QT, he went right after Hook's eyes. And so QT, he went for the up and over. You know, the up and over. But, you know, Hook didn't go under QT. But instead, QT, he ran right into Hook's submission move, the Redrum, to QT to win the match. So QT tapped out. So therefore, Hook wins the match. So, yeah, so that was pretty much it with that. And so, yeah, man. So right after that, man, we had a trios match on the buy-in. So it was the House of Black. So that's Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews versus Penta Oscuro, Pac, and Eric Redbeard with Alex Abrahantes in their corner. So Eric Redbeard, he showed up on AEW Rampage on Friday. And so, yeah, so Alex Abrahantes, Pac, and Penta Oscuro, they summoned Eric Redbeard on their side to help fight off the House of Black. So yeah, man. So the House of Black, they actually have a new theme song. They have a new theme song, which is really cool, man. How many theme songs do they have? They have a lot of theme songs. So yeah, everybody was going back and forth, man. Everybody, we had Pac and Black. They were going back and forth for a bit, which was some great stuff. And then Penta and Buddy, they went back and forth. And so yeah, so Redbeard and Brody, they got in the ring. So those are the two bigger guys. Redbeard is the biggest guy in this match. So yeah, so they were going back and forth. So Redbeard, he had took out the House of Black outside the ring by himself. And so we had a cannonball to Penta from Brody. And so yeah, so the crowd was split at that point. And so we had a draping DDT to Pac from Matthews. And so Brody, he had chopped Pac. Like, you heard it, man. You heard it. That thing was loud. And so yeah, man, so we had a Destroyer to Matthews from Penta. And we had a blind tag from Redbeard. And we had a Springboard Senton to Matthews from Redbeard. And so, yeah, man. So, yeah, Springboard Senton to Matthews from Redbeard. So, shades of his former tag team partner, the late, great Mr. Brody Lee. And so, yeah, man. So, yeah, everybody, they were going back and forth. We had Poison Rana to Black from Pac. So, yeah, so we had a Death Valley driver to Redbeard from Brody. And so, yeah, man. So, we had a Tope Suicida to Redbeard from Brody, which is explosive, man. And so, yeah, man, so we had the Fear Factor to Black from Penta on the ring apron. And so, but of course, Black is not the legal person. And so, Buddy Matthews, he had the Curse Stomp to Penta, but Pac, he had broke up the pin. And so, yeah, so Black and Matthews, they tried to gang up on Redbeard, but Redbeard had took them out. And so, yeah, man, so we had the Black Mist. Yeah, Malachi Black, he spit the Black Mist in Redbeard's face and his eyes. And so to end the match, man, we had Brody. He had the power driver to Redbeard to win the match. So therefore, the House of Black wins the match. And that was pretty much it, man. Pretty much it. And yeah, man, with this match, man, for a buy-in match, this is a really great match, man. Really great match. And so yeah, man, so that was pretty much it with that. And man, can I say, man, Buddy Matthews, he looked absolutely shredded, man. Absolutely chiseled, man. If I have a physique like him, man, oh my God, man. A really, really great physique, man. But yeah, so that was pretty much it with the buy-in. So the main show, so we started off the main show with Chris Jericho, Le Champion, the influencer, Chris Jericho versus Eddie Kingston, the Mad King, Eddie Kingston. So yeah, man, so Kingston, he wasted no time, bro. He wanted this match to start right away. And so yeah, so the match started. Kingston hit a half and half suplex to Jericho, but Jericho, he landed right on top of his head, man. The crowd, they started to chant Eddie. And so Jericho, he had flipped off the crowd, gave the crowd a middle finger, so that's a heel move. And so, yeah, so both of these guys, they were going back and forth with chops. And then they both went right after each other's eyes. And then Kingston rather, hit a DDT to Jericho. And then Jericho kicked out. And then Kingston, he had bit Jericho. And so we had a top rope hurricanrana to Kingston. And he kicked out. And so, yeah, so Jericho, he exposed the turnbuckle. So this is his second time acting heelish in this match. And so, yeah, we had an exploder suplex to Jericho. And then we had a suplex to Kingston on the floor off of the ring apron. So that had to hurt, man. And so, yeah, so Kingston went for the spinning back fist, but Jericho had dodged it. And then Jericho hit a German suplex to Kingston. And then he had another one, and then another one. But on the last one, the last German suplex, Kingston, he landed on his head. And so, yeah, man, so we had a lion salt to Kingston. Jericho almost undershot it, but he got Kingston with that lion salt. And so, yeah, so the crowd was split. And then Jericho, he had locked in the walls of Jericho to Kingston, but Kingston grabbed the rope. And then at one point, Jericho, he got in referee Aubrey Edwards' face. Like he pushed Aubrey Edwards, and Aubrey Edwards had pushed him back. And so, yeah, man, so Kingston hit the spinning back fist to Jericho, kicked out. And then Jericho hit the code breaker to Kingston. Kingston kicked out. And so, yeah, so Jericho, he was slapping Kingston around and all that stuff, telling him to stay down and all that stuff. And so, he had a German suplex to Kingston. And so Kingston, he had got back up after that German suplex, and then Jericho hit the code breaker on Kingston. So Eddie, he hit the spinning back fist twice to Jericho. Kingston, he locked in a submission move. I forgot the name of it, but they said it on commentary. I believe they said the stretch plunge or something like that. I could be wrong, but I heard the stretch plunge to Jericho. And so Jericho, he tapped out. So therefore, Eddie Kingston wins the match. He wins the big one. So he beat the big one. So yeah, so right after the match, Eddie, he put his hand out because, weeks leading into it, Jericho, he said that if Kingston can beat him, he will shake his hand and say that he respects Kingston. So Jericho promised a handshake, and so that's why Eddie Kingston put his hand out for a handshake and all that stuff. Jericho, he refused. Jericho refused to shake Eddie Kingston's hand, and Jericho, he went back on his word. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. So that's a heel turn, man. It got to be a heel turn. But yeah, man, what a great match, man. What a great match. This is one of the matches that I was looking forward to, and that was it with that. Yeah, and another thing, yeah, I knew Kingston was gonna win. But I thought that he was gonna turn heel. I really did. I thought he was gonna turn heel. I thought Santana and Ortiz were gonna get involved in this match and align themselves with Kingston, but it didn't happen. And so right after that, we had the AEW World Tag Team Championship match, triple threat match. So yeah, so that's the Young Bucks. So that's Matt and Nick Jackson with Brandon Cutler in their corner versus Red Dragon. That's Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish versus Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. So yeah, man. So this was kind of like a handicap match because the Young Bucks and Red Dragon, they were working together the entire time, man. We had a hot tag to Luchasaurus. He took out the Bucks, and then Jungle Boy took out the Bucks and Red Dragon. And we had a assisted draping 450 to Jungle Boy from the Bucks. And so Red Dragon and the Bucks, they took out Luchasaurus, and then the Bucks and Red Dragon, they almost got into it. Because one of them went for a pinfall. Double team moves to Jungle Boy from Red Dragon. And so yeah, so O'Reilly went for the cover. And so one of the Bucks had got Kyle O'Reilly off of Jungle Boy, saying like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" So Kyle O'Reilly was like, "Oh, I forgot. That was funny, man. When he said I forgot." So yeah, so O'Reilly, he accidentally took out Matt, and so we had a hot tag to Luchasaurus. He took out everybody, and then Luchasaurus, he had a moonsault to Red Dragon off of the ring apron. So that was really impressive, man. And so yeah, man. So Nick, he had a Canadian Destroyer to Luchasaurus. I believe it was off his shoulders. I think it was. Or it was off the top rope. But yeah, man. And then Luchasaurus, he was choke slamming everybody, man. Red Dragon and the Bucks. So yeah, man. So we had a standing moonsault on somebody, man, from Luchasaurus. And so we had a Doomsday Device to Matt from Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. And so yeah, we had a This Is Awesome chant. It was, man, it was. And so yeah, so Matt, he accidentally took out Fish with a super kick. But Matt, he didn't care. He didn't care that he took out Fish. And so yeah, Red Dragon and the Bucks finally fought. And so yeah, at that point I could not take notes, man, because this match was all over the place. Like I couldn't take down any notes. But yeah, man, so we had an Avalanche Exploder to Jungle Boy from Fish, and then a diving knee to Jungle Boy's knee from O'Reilly. And so yeah, man, so we had a shooting star press to Kyle from Jungle Boy. While Kyle O'Reilly had the guillotine choke locked on Luchasaurus. And so Nick, he had broke up the pin with a 450 splash. And then somebody had grabbed one of the championship title belts. And so yeah, and they hit Jungle Boy with the championships. Fish had hit the Jungle Boy with the championship, and Jungle Boy had kicked out of the move. And so I thought that was it, man. And so we had a high low to Jungle Boy from Red Dragon, but Luchasaurus had broke up the pin. And then the Bucks had took out O'Reilly. Then we had an Escalera to Luchasaurus from Nick. And then we had the BTE trigger to Jungle Boy from the Bucks. And O'Reilly had broke up the pin. And we had a Tope con Hero from Luchasaurus onto everybody. And so to end the match, man, we had a Thoracic Express to Matt from Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus to win the match. So therefore, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus wins the match and are still the AEW World Tag Team Champions. But yeah, man, that was it with that, man. Really, really great match, man. As I said before, man, I could not take any notes, man. Yeah, sorry, guys. My eyes are a little watery, man, Cause I am so tired, man. So tired. It is 12 o'clock in the morning, almost 1 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, our next match we had the Face of the Revolution ladder match, and it was Christian Cage versus Powerhouse Hobbs versus Ricky Starks, who is the FTW champion, versus Wardlow versus Keith Lee versus Orange Cassidy. So yeah, man. So Lee, Wardlow, and Hobbs, who are the bigger guys in this match, they were going at it. They were face to face, and so Orange hit the most devastating kicks on them. So yeah, so Cage he had took out the bigger guys with the ladder. And so Orange, he had climbed up the ladder with his hands in his pockets, which is very dangerous, man. And so yeah, so we had a reverse DDT to Hobbs from Cage off of the ladder. So that was impressive, man. And so yeah, so Lee, he had showed up from behind Christian Cage, and Lee had took out Cage. And so yeah, so Lee, he had leapfrog over Cage and Starks. So yeah, man. So that was really impressive too, man. You know, most big guys cannot hit a leapfrog, man. But yeah, we had a double crossbody to Cage and Starks from Lee. And then Lee, he had climbed up the ladder. And then Wardlow, he had showed up. And so Lee, he had climbed down and gotten Wardlow's face. So they were face to face. And so Hobbs, he had took out both of these guys with the ladder. And so yeah, when it came to Hobbs and Starks, two members of Team Taz, you know, they both looked at each other, they shook hands, and they both climbed up the ladder, you know, racing each other up the ladder. And so yeah, so Orange Cassidy, he was started hitting everybody with the ladder like helicopter style. He had it around his head. He started spinning around, hitting all these guys with the ladder. And so we had Wardlow and Lee, they lifted up the ladder while Orange Cassidy's head was through the ladders. And so yeah, so they lift him up. Orange Cassidy was on the top of the ladder. And so he almost had the brass ring. And so yeah, so they ended up knocking him down and all that stuff. So yeah, we had a suplex, man, a suplex to Orange from Hobbs off of the draping ladder. So that was really nice, man, really nice. And so yeah, crowd started chanting, "This is awesome!" It was, bro, it really was. So we had a spear to Hobbs from Cage on a draping ladder, and we had a diamond spear to Cage from Starks through the standing ladder. And so Wardlow, he had knocked Starks off the ladder at one point, and then Wardlow, he climbed the ladder with Starks and Orange Cassidy on his back. And so yeah, and all these guys, they were fighting on two ladders. And so yeah, so everybody, they were knocking each other off the ladders and all that stuff. And then Lee, he had threw Orange out of the ring, and he landed on our stage ramp too, man. Cage and Starks, they barely caught him. They did caught him, but Orange Cassidy, he landed right on that stage ramp. So yeah, man, so Hobbs and Wardlow, they double team Lee. And so Hobbs and Wardlow, they ripped, so they were fighting over a ladder, and so they ripped the ladder apart at the same time. And so yeah, man, so Hobbs ended up hitting Wardlow with the ladder from behind. Hobbs and Lee, they were fighting near the commentary table, and Taz was out there on commentary. So yeah, Wardlow, he knocked Lee and Hobbs off of the stage. Where the commentary table was, through the table that was off of the stage. And so yeah, we went back into the ring. We had Danhausen. So Danhausen showed up, and he knocked Ricky Starks off the ladder, and he ran away. And so yeah, man, so Wardlow, he had his powerbomb symphony to Cage. Wardlow, man, like they had a ladder bridged onto the standing ladder. Like he was in the ring, jumped up, and he jumped on the bridged ladder. And so he got up there, powerbomb Ricky Starks, and Starks, he landed right on his head. I think he did protect himself though. Put his hands behind his head. But yeah, man, that was still, man, a nasty spot. But yeah, man, hopefully Ricky Starks is okay, man. But yeah, that was impressive though. Wardlow, he jumped on that bridge ladder, and he powerbombed Ricky Starks, and he was able to grab that brass ring to win the match. So therefore, Wardlow wins the match. He wins the Face of the Revolution ladder match, and is the #1 contender for the TNT Championship. And so yeah, so that was it with that, man. Could not keep notes, man. Could not keep notes. And yeah, I said this again, great match, man. Every single match on this show was a great match, dude. So right after that, we had Tony Schiavone. He spoke, and he said that there was going to be a new contract signing. Last year at AEW Revolution, Christian Cage made his AEW debut, signed a contract and all that stuff. So this time, signing his contract to AEW is none other than Swerve Strickland, or Shane Swerve Strickland, formerly known as Isaiah Swerve Scott. And so yeah, he signed the contract. And, the crowd was chanting, "Whose house? Swerve's house. Whose house? Swerve's house." And so, yeah, so that was pretty much it with that. Congratulations to Swerve, and welcome to the team. So right after that, man, we had the TBS Championship match, and we had Ty Conti with Anna Jay in her corner. Oh yeah, -1 was also out there too, but they had to send him to the back. So he did come out during Ty Conti's entrance versus Jade Cargill, who is the TBS champion, with Smart Mark Sterling in her corner. And so yeah, so Jade, she had came out to the ring. She was dressed like somebody out of Mortal Kombat. And so yeah, I forgot the name of the character, but she was dressed like somebody out of Mortal Kombat. Jade had kissed Ty on the lips. And so Jade Cargill, she tried to go for the Jaded, but Ty, she had fought out of it. We had a top rope senton to Mark from Ty outside the ring. And so Jade, she had pump kicked Anna Jay into the timekeeper's table, unprovoked, man. Anna Jay didn't do a damn thing. So Anna Jay, when she had the chance, she had hit Jade with the steel chair behind the referee's back. And yeah, at that point, I was like, man, didn't the ref see it? They said that Aubrey Edwards didn't see it, but it looked like she did see it because she was looking at Anna Jay. Whatever, man. The referee didn't see it. Ty Conti, she had the DD tie to Jade, but Jade had kicked out. Jade, she had hit the Eye of the Storm to Ty, but Ty had kicked out. Oh yeah, and another thing about Jade Cargill, she was played out to the ring, so somebody was playing guitar to her theme song. So yeah, I forgot to mention that. But yeah, man, Eye of the Storm to Ty, and she kicked out. And so yeah, so Jade, she had pulled out something new, man. She had pulled out something new. She had the frog splash to Ty, which was beautiful, man. A beautiful frog splash, bro. And yeah, she kicked out. Ty Conti did. She kicked out. Ty Conti, she had the power driver to Jade, a wicked one at that too, man. And she kicked out. And so yeah, so Jade, she had knocked Ty off of the top rope. And so to end the match, man, we had Jade Cargill. She had a finishing move that Jaded to Ty to win the match. So Jade Cargill wins the match and is still the TBS champion, and it's 29-0. 29-0. And that was it, man. Really great match, man. Really great match. Both of these ladies, they both look good, man. Both look good. But yeah, man, that was pretty much it with the match. And so right after that, we had the dog collar match. And it was MJF versus CM Punk. So yeah, so first off, man, yeah, CM Punk, his theme song played. So we thought CM Punk was coming out first, but he didn't come out. But MJF's theme music played. And so the crowd had booed, man. They booed. And so yeah, that was funny, man. And so yeah, so MJF ended up coming out first, and then Punk had came out to his Ring of Honor, his old Ring of Honor theme song. I believe the name of it is Miseria Canter. Miseria Canter. And so yeah, so he came out to his old Ring of Honor theme song, and he came out dressed in his old Ring of Honor ring gear. So yeah, so it was a throwback to Ring of Honor. They both had the dog collars wrapped around them. So yeah, MJF tried to run away, but you couldn't, because they're both chained up together. But yeah, Punk, he took control of the match. We had a powerbomb to Punk. And so yeah, so MJF, he started whipping Punk with the chain. And so Punk tried to go for the running bulldog, but MJF had yanked Punk in midair with the chain. And so yeah, so Punk, he was bleeding. And so MJF, he had grabbed the mic. And so told one of the mic people to give me the effing mic and all that stuff. And so MJF, he had dared Punk to quit. And so Punk had told MJF to eat shit. And so yeah, so the crowd started chanting, eat shit, eat shit. Punky had yanked MJF off of the top rope after MJF was talking trash to the crowd and all that. And so we had a Russian leg sweep to MJF with the chain, and then the bulldog to MJF. And so yeah, man, so Punk started whipping MJF with the chain. And so yeah, man, so Punk, he wrapped MJF's hand with the chain, and he dropped his knee on MJF's chained up hand over and over and over again. And so yeah, so MJF had locked in the sleeper hold to Punk, but Punk had fought out of it. And so yeah, so MJF had reversed the GTS, and we had the Salt of the Earth submission move to Punk, and then Punk had locked in the Anaconda Vice to MJF, but MJF was close to tapping out, bruh. He really was. And so Punk, he reversed the Heat Seeker. So Punk had wrapped the chain around his knee and gave MJF a Shining Wizard, knocking MJF out of the ring. And then MJF, he was bleeding at that point, and the crowd started chanting, "You deserve it" to MJF, so that was really funny. So yeah, man, so Punk wrapped the chain around his knee again to try to go for it again, but MJF had moved out of the way, and Punk ended up running into the steel steps, so his knees are bad. So yeah, man, so Punk started punching MJF with the chain, and we had a tombstone power driver. So MJF tried to go for the tombstone power driver, but his hand started acting up again. And so yeah, man, so Punk hit the tombstone power driver to MJF on the ring apron, but Punk had hurt his bad knee. So Punk had hurt his bad knee. So yeah, so we had a diving elbow. So Punk tried to go for the diving elbow with the chain wrapped around his arm, but MJF rolled out of the way. and Punk crashed and burned through the mat, on the mat rather. So yeah, man. So MJF had pulled out a black bag, and we all know what it was: thumbtacks. Even the commentary team said that. Punk trying to go for his Pepsi plunge finishing move, or one of his old finishing moves in Ring of Honor, the Pepsi plunge, but MJF fought out of it. So yeah, man. So we had a superplex to Punk on the thumbtacks, which had to hurt, man. And so Punk had kicked out. And so MJF, he had yelled out Wardlow to come out to the ring, to try to give him his dynamite diamond ring. And so Wardlow came out dressed in a suit. And so yeah, so MJF told Wardlow to give me the ring and all that stuff. And so Wardlow went to go check his pockets, and it wasn't in there. Punk ended up hitting the go to sleep to MJF. MJF had landed back first on the thumbtacks. And so yeah, man. So Punk was looking at Wardlow. Wardlow, he had looked into his suit and grabbed the ring out of his other pocket. So he tricked MJF. And so yeah, so it really was in his pocket. And so he put it on the ring apron for Punk. And so Wardlow just walked away. So he walked away, and the crowd cheered, man. They cheered. That was the loudest cheer, man. For a babyface turn, that's the loudest pop I ever heard, man. So yeah, so Punk grabbed the ring. He put the ring on. And so MJF had spit in Punk's face. And so CM Punk had blasted MJF with that dynamite diamond ring. And so yeah, to win the match. So CM Punk wins the match. And that was it, man. That was it. This was a bloody match, man. This is a bloody match, bro. A bloody match. And so yeah, man. So they absolutely beat the hell out of each other, man. I said this earlier in the first half of the Ryan Awesome show that PCO and Jonah beat the hell out of each other, man. These guys beat the hell out of each other, man. That face turn, man, from Wardlow was absolutely epic, man. Absolutely epic. But yeah, man, that was pretty much it with that. I don't know where MJF goes after this because he lost. And I don't know where Punk goes after this since he won. Will he get a world title match over MJF? Maybe. That's what I'm guessing. But yeah, man. So that was pretty much it with that, man. And so right after that, we had the AEW Women's World Championship match. Thunder Rosa versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, who is the AEW Women's World Champion with Rebel and Jamie Hayter in her corner. And so yeah, so we actually have a new AEW Women's World Championship, like a new belt, a new championship belt. And I was like, man, about time, bro. About time. They needed to change that championship, man. They needed to, because that championship was that championship was way too small, man. Like it looked like didn't they first it was too small, and then they redesigned it and it looked the same as the older championship. Now this championship looked better, man. It looks absolutely better, bro. It looked like it has more gold into it. Jamie Hayter got involved in the match behind the referee's back, and then Baker took control of the match. And so Rebel and Hayter got involved in the match again, and at that point I was like, referee, man. I know you see this, ref. I know you see this, ref. But yeah, man. So yeah, so we had a German suplex to Britt, and then Rosa started to fight back. She had a Northern Light suplex to Baker, and then Baker hit an air raid crash to Rosa, and Rosa had kicked out. And we had a pendulum suplex to Rosa, and we had a butterfly suplex to Rosa, and she kicked out. And we had a superplex to Baker, and the crowd was split at that point. And we had a swinging neck breaker to Rosa. And so both of these ladies, they're going back and forth with strikes. We had a lockjaw. So Baker tried to go for the lockjaw, but Thunder Rosa had reversed it. We had an avalanche air raid crash to Rosa, and which was epic, man. And she kicked out. And so yeah, so we had a tombstone power driver to Baker, and Rebel distracted the referee. But Rosa had took out Rebel. So this is our second tombstone power driver that we saw tonight, man. Keep that in mind. And then Hayter, she had threw in the AEW Women's World Championship belt in the ring. And so Dr. Britt Baker had grabbed it and she put it in the middle of the ring, and she had curb stomped Thunder Rosa's face into the Women's Championship, and she kicked out. Thunder Rosa did. She kicked out, and I was like, what? That should have been it. But yeah, so Britt, she had locked in the lockjaw to, or Thunder Rosa, she had locked in the lockjaw on Britt. So she hit Britt with her own finishing move, and so Britt had fought out of it. And so we had a straight jacket to Britt, a straight jacket submission move to Britt. But Britt, she did tap out, but the referee didn't see it because she's distracted by Rebel again. I was like, man, referee, you gotta eject these people, man. But yeah, Rosa, she took out Rebel, and then Hayter tried taking out Rosa outside the ring, but Rosa had took her out. And so Rosa, she had got back into the ring, and she fell into the curb stomp. So Britt Baker had the curb stomp to Rosa to win the match. So therefore, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, MD wins the match and is still the AEW Women's World Champion. And that was it, man. That was pretty much it with that. So yeah, so right after that we had Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley. So yeah, man. So this was a great match, really great match, bro. Both of these guys, they tried to out wrestle each other, landing outside the ring on the floor, and you heard the thud too, man. So yeah, so Mox had slapped Bryan in the face, and so Bryan, he had slapped him back, and so Bryan did his little jumping jacks and all that stuff. So yes, and then Moxley ended up getting the upper hand on Bryan, and he started hitting the jumping jacks too. And so yeah, so Moxley started kicking Bryan, and then Bryan had locked in he did the dragon screw to Mox. And so yeah, man, so we had the yes kicks to Mox, and we had a running corner drop kick to Mox. And so both of these guys, they were trading strikes. Moxley caught Bryan off of a tope in midair, and so they were both fighting outside the ring at that point. And then Moxley, he was bleeding right after Bryan had gave him an elbow shot, and so Bryan, he was bleeding too. I don't know from what, but Bryan was bleeding too. And then Moxley had hit a King Kong lariat to Bryan. That's what they said on commentary, the King Kong lariat. Avalanche belly to back suplex to Mox, and he kicked out. And so we had a series of elbow shots to Bryan. Moxley had locked in the sleeper hold to Bryan, and he locked it into a cross arm breaker to Bryan. And so we had a label lock to Mox, but Mox, he scratched and clawed, literally and figuratively. He scratched and clawed his way to the ropes, so he got the rope break. And so yeah, so both of these guys, they were kicking each other in the face at one point. And so Mox had stomped on Bryan's face, and Moxley had locked in the bulldog to Bryan. Bryan fought out of it, and so we had a running knee to Moxley, kicked out, and then Bryan did his signature stomps to Moxley's face. And so yeah, man, so Bryan had locked in the triangle sleeper, is one of his finishing moves, the triangle sleeper to Moxley, while hitting Moxley in the head with his elbow strikes and all that stuff. And then to end the match, man, somehow Moxley, he got the pinfall win over Bryan. So I guess he used Bryan's momentum against him, and so he pinned Bryan's shoulders on the mat while, Moxley was locked into the triangle sleeper, and so to win the match. So therefore, Jon Moxley wins the match. And so yeah, so right after the match, man, we had Bryan. He had gotten into the referee's face, and he shoved the referee, and the referee had pushed him back. So yeah, so Bryan and Moxley, they brawled, and so a brawl had broke out. So yeah, so the brawl had broke out right after Bryan had attacked Moxley, and so the security team tried to break it up, and so Bryan and Moxley, they took out the security people, and so we had, out of nowhere, man, we had William Regal. William Regal had walked out, and so the crowd had popped, man, holy shit and all that. And so yeah, man, so Regal, broke up Moxley and Bryan, so he broke up the fight, and so Regal had slapped Moxley in the face. Bryan was laughing, and so Bryan went to go motion for a hug for Mr. Regal. And so Mr. Regal had slapped Bryan in the face, and he told both of them to shake hands, and they shook hands. Bryan and Moxley shook hands. So that was pretty much it, man. That was pretty much it. William Regal, he did train Bryan Danielson. And so yeah, so Mr. Regal is here, man. Mr. Regal is here in AEW. He's here in AEW, and it was official. It was made official by Tony Khan that William Regal is signed to AEW. So welcome to AEW, Mr. Regal. Welcome to the team, and I can't wait to see what's next with him too, man. So yeah, so it looks like it's gonna be Bryan, Moxley, and Mr. Regal for right now, as a group, as a faction for right now. But yeah, they will have this faction, man. They will have it. They will add more people to the faction, and Mr. Regal, he could be like the mentor or the coach. But yeah, man. Yeah, that was it, man. That was it with that. Great to see Mr. Regal. I was waiting for Mr. Regal to say War Games, man. I was serious, man. I was waiting for him to say War Games. AEW, man, they are freaking stacked, bro. Like, most of these guys that came from NXT, WWE, and a lot of people, per storyline, kayfabe, they used to work for Mr. Regal when Mr. Regal was the general manager of NXT. So it's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool to see Mr. Regal in AEW. So right after that, we had the Trios Tornado match. So yeah, we had the AHFO. So that's Andrade El Idolo, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy versus Sammy Guevara, who is the TNT champion, Sting, and Darby Allin. So yeah, man, so both of these teams, they went right after each other, man. And then, the babyfaces, they took out Jose, the assistant. So that was really funny, man. And same thing with this match. I couldn't take notes in this match, bro. I tried everything, man. So yeah, man, so Andrade, he suplexed Sammy Guevara on top of the guardrail. So bro, that had to hurt, man. Like he suplexed him on top of the guardrail, you know, on his front side, on his chest and all that stuff, and his abdomen. But yeah, man, we had a double springboard cutter to Isaiah from Sammy, and then Hardy had hit the twist of fate or the twist of hate on Sammy. So yeah, man. So Mark Quinn, who wasn't in the match, he came out and he threw a chair in Sammy Guevara's face, knocking him off of the top rope onto the floor. And so yeah, so Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn, they did the silly string spot outside the ring, and so Isaiah had gave Sammy a tornado DDT on the floor. So yeah, so the Butcher and the Blade, they came out too. So also members of the AHFO. So they came out and they took out Darby and Sting in the crowd. So yeah, this is a crazy spot, man. This is a crazy spot in this match, bro. We had Sammy Guevara and Isaiah Cassidy. They were fighting on the top of the stage or top of the entrance Titantron tunnel. And so yeah, so Sammy, he had a Spanish fly to Isaiah Cassidy off of the top of the tunnel through the tables. Not what through the table, man. It was two tables, but one of the tables broke. Only one of the tables broke, and but the other table did not break. So yeah, so that was a nasty fall. It was scary and it was a nasty fall. So I'm hoping Isaiah Cassidy was okay because he took the worst of it, man. Right after that, man, Sting, he had jumped off of the crowd stands in the crowd onto Andrade El Idolo through a lot of tables. I don't know how many tables it was, but it was a lot of tables. But he landed right on Andrade through those tables, man. And so the crowd started chanting, "You still got it, you still got it." And so we had chair shots to Darby from Hardy. And so Darby hit the Scorpion Death Drop to Hardy onto the chair. And to end the match, man, we had Darby Allin hit his finishing move, the Coffin Drop to Matt Hardy. But, to win the match, Darby, he barely caught Matt Hardy with that Coffin Drop. Yeah, his head had hit him. That was pretty much it, but his whole body didn't hit him. But yeah, Darby Allin, Sting, and Sammy Guevara wins the match, and that was it, man. That was it. Really great match. Just like all these other matches, I could not keep notes in it. And yeah, man, they beat the hell out of each other, man. They really did. And the spots in this match was freaking crazy, man. Scary too, man. Scary spots in this match. Second half of the Ryan Awesome show, I'm freaking tired, man. It's been a long night, man. It's been a long day. But yeah, man, we're finally in our main event. Thank God, man. Because I'm freaking tired right now. But yeah, so our main event, man, we had the AEW World Championship match. And it was Adam Cole, baby, versus Hangman Adam Page, who is the AEW World Champion. So two Adams going at it in the main event. So yeah, I think this is actually the first time two competitors competing in the main event have the same name. But yeah, man. Or the same first name. But yeah, man. But yeah, Cole came out first. Cole was dressed like somebody out of Halo. So yeah, man. So the crowd started chanting, "Let's go, Adam." I don't know who it was directed to, but it could have been for both of these guys because both of their names are Adam. So we had chops to Cole, and we had a short arm lariat to Cole, and we had a baseball dropkick to Cole, hit him right in his face. And so Page, he had hit his arm on a ring post at one point. And so Cole took control of the match. He hit a pump kick to Page, and then Cole, he had sent Page into the steps. And so Cole hit a Ushigoroshi to Page, and then Page had kicked out at one. And we had a neck breaker to Page, and we had a torture rack powerbomb to Page, and we had a backstabber to Page in midair, and he kicked out. And then Cole, he was talking trash to Page, and we had a big boot to Cole in midair. Page hit a fallaway slam to Cole, and he had a pop-up powerbomb to Cole on the ring apron, which had to hurt, man. And so yeah, we had an outside moonsault to Cole on outside of the ring. Page tried to go for the buckshot lariat, but Cole avoided it. And then we had an insecurity to Page from outside the ring. And so yeah, man, so we had a Liger bomb to Cole, kicked out. And we had a super kick to Page in midair, which was nice, man. And Page had kicked out. Cole tried to go for the super kick. He was tuning up the band, just like his mentor, Shawn Michaels. Page had reversed the super kick, and he hit the dead eye to Cole, and then Cole had kicked out. And so yeah, so the crowd started chanting, "This is Adam." Instead of saying, "This is awesome," they started chanting, "This is Adam, this is Adam." And I was like, oh my God, man, these people are freaking childish. But yeah, we had a pump kick to Page, followed up by a super kick. Cole had locked in a crossface to Page. Yeah, so this is our third tombstone power driver of the night. So yeah, so we had a tombstone power driver to Cole. Cole had kicked out. And at that point, I was like, man, everybody is hitting a freaking tombstone power driver tonight, man. A brain buster. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. A brain. I can't even do it. All right, let's try this again. 1, 2, 3. Brain buster on the knee to Paige. And so yeah, so the crowd started chanting "Fight for Adam" and all that stuff. I was like, stop, man, stop, crowd. So yeah, we had an Avalanche fallaway slam to Cole, which was really nice. And then Red Dragon that came out, Colorado Bobby Fish, they came out to support Adam Cole. And so we had a super kick to Paige, and then we had a Panama Sunrise to Paige onto the floor from the ring apron. And then Cole, he brought Paige back into the ring and went for the cover. Paige had kicked out. Red Dragon had distracted the referee at one point, and then Cole had hit the low blow to Paige behind the referee's back. And then we had a Panama Sunrise to Paige. So Cole had hit the boom to Paige, and then Paige had kicked out. And I was like, what? He kicked out? And then, Excalibur on commentary, he had brought up a great point. Adam Cole, he didn't pull down his knee pad because he usually pulled out his knee pad. That's what makes the move effective. But he didn't pull down his knee pad. That's why he kicked out. So that was a great point. That was a great point by Excalibur. Because Cole, he does usually pull down the knee pad, but I didn't even see him. I didn't even see him pull down the knee pad. Paige, he had hit a lariat to Cole, and then Cole had started hitting super kicks to Paige, and then Cole tried to go for the boom, and then Paige had fell, and then Red Dragon had brought a table out, and they put it on the side of the ring. Cole and Paige, they were fighting on the ring apron, and then Paige had hit the dead eye to Cole off of the ring apron through the table. So that was, that could have ended badly, man. If you didn't land the right way, that could have ended badly. But yeah, man, so we had the Dark Order. They came out. Everybody, all 8,000 of them came out. 8,000 deep. They all came out. So yeah, so the Dark Order, they chased off Red Dragon. So they went out to go check on Paige. And so I think Paige, he had pushed one of the Dark Order members into Bobby Fish, I think it was. And so that's when the brawl had broke out between the Dark Order and Red Dragon. So it was an unfair advantage because there's only 2 members of Red Dragon, and the Dark Order, they're freaking deep. So yeah, so the Dark Order, they chased off Red Dragon, and so we had the buckshot lariat to Cole, but Cole had put his fingers on the rope, and so Paige, he tied Adam Cole's hand to the rope the same way he did the last time Adam Cole did on Dynamite. And so yeah, so he tied him up. He tied him up with his belt, the belt that he was wearing on his pants, on his tights. And so yeah, so we had super kicks to Cole, and so the crowd was booing. I did hear some boos, and so Cole, he had untied himself, and he ran into a super kick from Paige, and so Paige, he had put down his knee pad. He had the boom to Cole, and to end the match, he followed it up with the buckshot lariat. So right after Paige hit the boom on Adam Cole with the exposed knee, Adam Hangman Page had hit the buckshot lariat to Cole and win the match. So therefore, Adam Hangman Page was the match, and is still the AEW World Champion. And that was it, man. And so right after the match, we had Adam Page. He shook Adam Cole's hand while Adam Cole was laid out on the ground. So he grabbed Adam Cole's hand from the ground, and he started shaking his hand. And that was pretty much it, man. That was pretty much it. And that was it. That was it with AEW Revolution 2022, man. That was it with the main event. And yeah, man, who's next for Hangman Adam Page? I would have said MJF, but MJF, he lost to Punk earlier tonight. I don't know who's next. Who exactly will be next for the championship against Page. But yeah, Adam Cole, he gotta go to the end of the line, man. He gotta go to the end of the line with the AEW World Championship. But yeah, man, that was it with the show, man. Yeah, I'm sorry, my eyes are freaking watery. But yeah, I'm so tired, man. I'm recording this at 1 o'clock in the morning. The second half of the Ryan Awesome show is recorded at 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning. But the first half of the Ryan Awesome show is recorded at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. But yeah, man, I am so freaking tired, man. So freaking tired. But yeah, man, that was it, man. Really great show, man. From top to bottom, bro. This was a great show, man. A perfect show, man. I usually don't throw that out, man, but it was a perfect show. Some debuts tonight, man. Shane Swerve Strickland, and Mr. Regal, William Regal. And yeah, another thing, man, we did not crown any new champions. We ain't had no new champions tonight. No new champions. This is a clean sweep for all champions. And yeah, man, that was it, man. All these matches, man, I could not take notes in them. Could not. But yeah, man. Yeah, this will be mark my words, man. This will be one of the best pay-per-views of this year. When 2022 is over, man, this pay-per-view right here, Revolution 2022, will be in the top 5, probably in the top 3 or the top 5 as the greatest pay-per-views of this year. But yeah, man. But yep, that was it with AEW Revolution. And thank you guys for watching the Ryan Awesome Show, the first and the second half of the Ryan Awesome Show. Thank you guys. And if you like the videos, hit the thumbs up, man. What are you waiting for? Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new around here, if you're watching the Ryan Awesome Show for the first time ever, hit that subscribe button. Right next to that subscribe button is a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so we're the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded, because I am here each and every single week, man. Follow me on Twitter at Ryan Awesome Show. And comment down below, man. Tell me how you felt about Impact Wrestling Sacrifice. And tell me how you felt about AEW Revolution, man. And so, yeah, man. So, thank you guys so much, man, for watching this show. This is a long one right here, man. This is probably one of the longest shows that I've done. But, yeah, man. Thank you guys so much, man. I appreciate you guys. And, yeah, man. And once again, guys, thank you for the 300 subscribers, man. Thank you once again for the 300 subscribers, guys. And, yeah, man. If you missed anything, everything is on our homepage. Everything is there if you missed anything. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys, man. I'll see you guys when I see you guys. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. Oh, yeah, and another thing I forgot to announce. So, yeah, we did have some matches announced for Dynamite. So, yeah, Sammy Guevara versus Scorpio Sky for the TNT Championship on Wednesday. And then we have the winner of that match. The winner of that match will go up against Wardlow, the winner of the Face of the Revolution ladder match on March the 16th. AEW Dynamite St. Patrick's Day Slam. So also on AEW Dynamite we have the AEW Women's World Championship #1 contenders match. And it's gonna be legit Layla Hirsch versus Thunder Rosa. Those are the matches that were announced for Dynamite, man. And yeah, man. So yep, I'll see you guys on Dynamite. And yeah, man. And once again, guys, thank you for the love and the support for the show. Thank you, and thank you, man. And yeah, man. And this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Take care, stay safe, and don't forget to be awesome. And that's that.